Okay.
Recording in progress.
Welcome everybody to the February edition of the Tips and Tricks SIG. We'll be having our open forum and then go into our tips and tricks topics that were part of the email that I sent out or anything else anyone wants to discuss. That being said, who'd like to open up the floor with the first question of the evening?
What's the question?
Okay, Tim is going to tell us about this build that he was doing. He was kind of talking about it earlier, but you want a quick rundown about this build, and is it for you or is it for a client?
It's for me.
Okay.
The motherboard is about 5 years old, never used. I just haven't had time, and I had to get some additional parts, etc. So I finally got around to that, and I started during December because we have a light month, and got some done in January too. But it's a Ryzen 7. It's got 8 cores, hyper-threading, 16 gigs of memory, an M.2 NVMe drive. I only do a 256 on my systems unless I need a 512, and I never go bigger than that for the boot drive. Other drives can be any size. And I have a 4 gigabyte graphics card. Graphics cards provide acceleration in hardware that otherwise your CPU has to do code slowing you down. And 11 itself actually benefits from having discrete hardware. So also, if you're an audiophile, having a discrete plug-in audio card is very important. On laptops, you have to look for laptops that have like NVIDIA or Raytheon graphics processors and real high-end sound systems in hardware to get acceleration. And I sent Sanford 4 articles, and I found out that, okay, I knew about the 2 hardware accelerations that I mentioned there, but there's about 10 other accelerations in hardware that have evolved over the last, good 20 years. And I never get beyond 4 gigabyte on a graphic card. I'm not a high-end gamer. I use it for the hardware acceleration and a little bit of the graphics, including Zoom. Zoom will benefit from the hardware acceleration. And that's not a joke. If you don't have hardware acceleration capability for at least the video portion, then your CPU has to do all the work of rendering the graphics images on your display, let alone what is going out through Zoom to other attendees.
This is one of the articles that you had sent me.
Right.
I did put it in the topics for tonight, and since you brought it up, I thought I'd show the screen. Did you happen to read through the article to see what they were discussing on things that you could do?
There's lots of things. Now, they're starting there at number 1 at the bottom. They're getting into some of the tuning and cleanup you can do on your systems in order to minimize things that will steal memory and CPU cycles, slowing you down some.
It's interesting. In the article, one of the first things they start out with is The fact that people will see ads for speed up your PC using registry cleaners, and they state here in this paragraph, Microsoft categorically does not support the use of registry cleaners for Windows.
In general, that has been true all the time for 20, 25 years now that I can remember. And but I still run a few cleaners. They get rid of superfluous entries, but none of them have enough courage to really do cleanup and correcting problems that might be in your registry. All they
Right.
do is the safe stuff, but that means it helps reduce the ever increasing size of your registry, which will slow you down every time you boot the computer.
Right. So they state here some of the things we all know to do, or maybe a little refresher is get rid of this crapware that might be loaded on your PC. That's used simply using the uninstall function or app uninstall that's included in Windows.
Right.
Some of us in this group prefer other programs like Revo Uninstaller, and there's other ones out there that will remove programs a little more thoroughly. But this is a very good thing to do, is get rid of, oh, that's it. Best budget laptops. Then they talk about here about limiting the things that come in your startup processes,
Absolutely.
which you change this through Task Manager. Do you do that?
Yes and no.
No.
Task Manager will show you some, but it doesn't always show you all the ones, and it tries to evaluate those that are high impact, those that are medium impact, low impact, or they didn't bother looking at it to see if it had much of any impact. And it's the high ones that you want to limit as much as possible, because a lot of applications, when you install them, want to put something in the startup. Most of the time, it's checking to see if there's a new update or not, and then nagging you, oh, there's a new update. You want to do the update now? Of course not, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so, I guess we used to do it through using msconfig to access the startup folder and information. But they're saying do it now through Task Manager.
Yes.
And I guess in Task Manager, you now have a dialog box to start to check things that are coming up on your startup function.
That goes back to Windows 8. And what it is there's it used to be on 8 and 10, a tab at the top. It said Startup. On 11, it's now a column on the side. And I think it's the fourth or fifth one that's the Startup in the icons. You can expand the left-hand column out so you can see verbiage, but most people will only see icons.
The one thing here is they do tell you, look through programs that you're not using daily, or you don't think have an impact on you daily, and turn them off.
Right.
And they, at the end of the article, this paragraph, they say, for instance, iTunes. If you don't use iTunes very much, then turn off iTunes Helper.
Right.
Because you don't need that to be loaded in. And there's probably a plethora of other programs out there that are loaded on startup.
Okay. For example, CCleaner will have one. You can turn that off. OneDrive is in there. You can turn that off. And you still have full access and use of CCleaner and OneDrive.
Right. You just don't need them to be there on startup and slows
right.
on your system and just takes up memory.
That's
so
correct.
So if you need them, it will load what it needs to and goes from there. The next thing they suggest in here is clean up your hard disk. We went through this in our last meeting. Bob went through the exercise to show us how to clean up our hard drive. That was very good. Thank you, Bob. And if you don't know how to do it, read through this article. It's real easy. You basically go to your start menu and you type disk cleanup. And you could pull up the portion in there, have it clean out the temporaries and junk files. And I don't know if Windows 11 still has the disk cleanup function for the, what do they call that? Disk for Windows portion, the operating system portion. Like
yeah.
clean up boot manager and stuff. Not boot manager, I'm sorry.
No, I know what you're talking about, but that's
I know,
where
but I got to pull this up because I'm messing up here.
that's
They're
where
called system files.
right.
Right. Thank you, Bob. I was having a block there.
And
It's a little different in 10 and 11.
yes, also you have a PC Manager, a new application that pulls a lot of old Windows tools that have been there, and most people don't know what they are, and gives you one common interface to use them.
Right. PC Manager, which we demonstrated, I think, at our last meeting, that is provided by Microsoft. You go to Microsoft.com and look for PC Manager and download it right from there.
Right.
Okay. The other thing you could do is add more memory.
It used to be a lot of people got away with 4 gigs. Then it needed to be 8 gigs. And really, with 11, you better be looking at 16 at least.
Minimum of 16, preferably what, 32?
No, anything above 16 depends upon what you do on your system, what software you run, such as video editing, AutoCAD, stuff like that. I know of one person who is so heavy into AI, his system is 64 gigs, and he still runs out of memory.
Another thing is, if you haven't already done so, change your mechanical hard drive out and put an SSD as your startup drive.
Absolutely.
Talk about the biggest change you'll ever see in your system.
I've been doing that for 10 years or better.
Right. Check for viruses and spyware. I guess you should run like malware bytes and let it scan your system.
Malwarebytes has adware cleaner, ADW cleaner.
Right.
That's free, and it can remove things that are not necessarily malicious, but they can sure slow down your system.
Yes.
In other words, those are potentially unwanted programs, not anything malicious.
Yeah, the only thing that you have to worry about pups regarding pups, there's also PUAs. On pups, there are pieces of real software that require the pups in order to do the job. Otherwise, don't even bother installing them or remove them totally from your system and do without.
Yeah, it depends on how discrete or how well programmed your particular anti-malware programs are.
Right.
Some of them are better than others at not pulling out stuff you want to keep. Windows Defender has been getting worse with third-party freeware.
Yeah.
It's been pulling out stuff you need.
Yes, and if you have a piece of software, like I have at least 3 that have pups in it, they perform the function. If I take adware as an example and remove all those pups, those programs don't run. And if they don't run, I have to figure out other ways of doing what those programs do for me.
Pups are potentially unwanted programs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what a pup is. There's also the PUA, which is probably unwanted app, which are like from the Microsoft Store. Also, Google has from if you can run Android apps from Google and that, there may be PUAs from that as well. It's not just Microsoft.
Okay, so Bob, you mentioned AWD.
ADW cleaner.
Adware, yeah, if you just type in adware, you'll see malware bytes. You go there, download it, and install it.
Okay,
It's one of these.
What does
It's
that
one
do?
of it's one of these old-fashioned self-contained programs, and first thing it does is it unpacks itself. Then it presents a very simple interface, and it's basically a one-button fix. You decide whether you want to get rid of what it wants to get rid of or not. The only things you might not want to get rid of is it does try to remove certain things from your browser. Things which you might want to keep.
Okay.
Browser functions or features. But it also will, if it finds anything, it will offer you the option of resetting all kinds of things like your network connection and all kinds of stuff inside of Windows that's too technical to talk about here.
Okay.
Adware,
All right.
I go back about 20 years, and then malware a few years back bought them out.
Yeah. They used to be
Okay.
independent.
So they also talk about here about changing your power mode
Yes.
from being like balanced to you could go into.
Do not do that on a laptop. It'll eat your battery like you wouldn't believe.
Well, but power mode, does that really apply on a desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
I usually run mine at high performance.
Yeah, there are 3 levels of performance versus power saving, which occur also on desktop and non-portables.
Sorry, Bob, but you're actually incorrect. There's about 5 levels. Usually you only see 3 native, but the other 3 can be activated.
Okay, well, there may be technical ways of doing that.
Yeah.
I know that in Linux there's more, but in Windows I thought only 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing you could do is run Windows Troubleshooter. I don't know why you would do this. I guess to see if there's a problem with an app.
Or
it might be slowing down your system.
Or your Windows updating isn't working correctly.
Okay.
And I've had that a few times, not very often. But somewhere soon, they are depreciating the troubleshooters, and they are going to eventually get rid of the troubleshooters that are built into 10 and 11. Guarantee it. They're going to a service where you have like a message pop up. We see you're having some kind of a problem. Do you want us to analyze what's going on? And from Microsoft, they come into your system, analyze it, try and correct the problem, want to know whether they were successful or not, etc. So the troubleshooters that we are familiar with, they're going to go away.
Are they going to charge for that?
No, they don't charge for it.
You're just going to have to watch 30 minutes of ads before you can start using it.
Yeah.
The entirety of Windows may start costing, but that's a different matter.
It's a different matter.
A lot of it is, shall we say, part of AI. And so really AI is doing most of the work. It will get you to a person if it feels there is a need for that.
To be honest, sometimes I prefer dealing with the machines because they won't go through this frontline rep thing about did you turn it off and on again? Did you do this? All these simple things.
A stupid question.
AI learns your patterns and knows that you're a power user if you are. At least good AI does that. And it will skip or at least rapidly go through the obvious stuff and then pinpoint things that you as a power user are probably running into.
You mean it'll skip the ID10T errors?
It will probably skip most of the stuff that a frontline rep will first start you on.
Right. When you're talking to real people for help, that's level one, and they go through a list of everything they got to ask you to do or is on your system. And then eventually, if they can't solve the issue doing it that way, they bump it up to level two. Then level two may eventually have to go to a third level.
And it's only at level 2 that those of us who are more power users start to get the benefit.
Right.
Whereas AI can get you up to that level a lot faster. A lot less hassle. At least that's been my experience
Yeah.
with the AI I've used.
Yes, I agree.
And the other thing is, power users will use different terms. And it's the same thing as with these chatbots. How you prime it, how you prompt it, and the tone you prompt it with will tell it to take you as a more serious user.
Not only that, but I mean, it's when you're playing with the AI. For those of you who haven't done it yet, I do recommend it. Everything, even before AI was there, in our search engines, how you phrase a question or a problem or what you are looking for is absolutely critical in determining what you get back as a result. And
Yeah.
so, some cases, you need to learn how to rephrase your question if you're not getting back what you are expecting.
Keywords and now prompts.
But that's the same even if you're browsing and searching on Amazon.
But hey, it doesn't matter where it is. If you're using a search engine, whether it's in the regular browser or if it's at a site, it all comes down to how do you phrase things. And it tries to learn ways of understanding how you're doing phrasing things to get a better result with AI. AI tries to understand and learn from experience what's going on so that when people are poor in phrasing what they are looking for, they get better results. But
Okay,
that's
so I brought up one of the articles you had sent to further on this subject here is how to accelerate your PC. They talk about hardware acceleration and what you should turn on
right.
here. They talk about what is hardware acceleration. One of them being the use of your GPU or your graphics processing unit. One of the elements that it does is it does 3D acceleration, and it's a it's a good thing to employ this because it will definitely boost up the speed of your system by utilizing these processes that are built into the processor or into the GPU. So it depends if you have, as you were talking about earlier, if you have a discrete GPU or if you have a one that's built in on the main CPU that is like the Intel's. They come with their own graphic processor as part of the main chip.
Yeah, but those are low end and they're good for most business purposes, but they're lousy on real good graphics rendering. And 10, as well as 11 in particular, can benefit from a discrete graphics processor that's above and beyond the basics on the motherboard. In fact, on the machine I'm on now, right now, I had originally a 512 megabyte card in the system, and I was having some problems. So I got a new card, new as of 2015 or something like that. It's only 2 gigabytes of memory, but it's made a world of difference in the system, and because I've got 8 times the memory on the graphics card I have in there now than what I did have.
One thing it says turn off hardware acceleration for your browser.
That's where sometimes hardware acceleration may interfere with how a browser is presenting something to you. In which case, turn off the hardware acceleration, finish doing what you're doing, then you can turn it back on and do your normal stuff.
Right. Okay.
Peter?
Yeah, on the graphics card, if you're using a specific program, before you change out a graphics card, make sure you check what your program needs in regards to the graphics card, or if you're buying a new system, because some of them are very specific on the level and the amount that they can use on the graphics cards.
Yeah.
Same way with games.
Right. Your machines there, do they rely on graphics cards at all or CPU?
Mine,
Yeah, the machines you use in your shop.
they're mostly accessory graphics cards because I bought gaming desktops,
Okay. So like the
low end
CNC.
gaming desktops, so they have a separate graphics card so that you can run multiple monitors and stuff like that.
Right.
Which, if you can do that, then you've got more horsepower on the card itself, and therefore the 3D rendering and stuff like that I do in the CAM or CAD works off better.
Mm-hmm. Also, it may also help with the printing that you're doing with uh,
The machines.
the various machines. He's got 3D printers, and
I've got 3D printers, 3D cutters. I used to have a 3D router.
yeah. So it's a case where the hardware acceleration hasn't been a big thing except for medium to high end gamers. And they keep driving this saying the graphic cards are getting ridiculous. I'm using old stuff. Why? Because it's cheaper and it works like I need it to do. And therefore, I'm quite happy because I'm saving money and I'm getting what I need done more efficiently. And if you're an audio
like machine, I'm going to turn off my hand.
we're doing the graphic card there, but if you're an audiophile, you want a discrete sound card for the same reason. It will have hardware acceleration and greater capabilities than what comes built on most motherboards. You have to get into expensive computers to get high-end graphics and audio on those base computers without adding discrete components. And you can't do that on laptops in most cases. There's only a small percentage of laptops where you can get a specific discrete processor for graphics, and I don't know of any that have discrete audio. It's whatever's built onto the motherboard, but usually it's higher end. The higher the price is, the better quality of the components and parts and their functionality.
Yeah, you get the mixers and the multi-channel stuff with the high-end stuff. You don't get it with the stuff that comes on board.
Right.
If you need that for your web page or for whatever else, because you're using 5 microphones and two cameras, then you need to get a machine that you can at least upgrade to those components.
Right. And then usually that's a desktop.
Normally, yes, unless you order a special laptop,
Right.
like an Alienware or something like that, that's specific
Yeah, and
for
you're
gamers.
probably talking around
8 to 10 grand. 8
$1,300
to 10
up.
grand. What?
You're talking at least $1,300 up to get the
I was
good.
saying 8 grand for the machine.
Yeah, well, it depends.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it depends specifically what are you going to be doing with the computer and what software are you running, because the software still determines what kind of hardware do I need.
Absolutely.
And if
Right.
you cannot
Okay, so
afford
wait,
it,
Tim, we need to get back on our subjects here. We didn't finish really our open forum, and I wanted to just
Go
circle
ahead.
back now that we did all this deviation and talking about hardware and accelerating, blah, 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 blah. Does anyone else have any other questions for the open forum?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
See, I'm glad I circled back around. E, what do you
Yeah,
got?
so file compression software. You know, not PDF, but zip.
Yep, PK zip,
It's zip files.
WinZip.
Okay, so I've been getting some sites now that are using a RAR, which I believe is a
WinRAR,
Linux.
WinRAR.
Just a straight RAR.
that goes way back. That's a real
But
old tool.
they're still using that.
I know.
They are still using that. So I'm looking for either a Linux, what do you call it? To unzip a Linux program or a Windows program that is free to open up the RAR folders.
There is a couple, but I don't have them at my fingertips, so I can't give you the information right now.
Isn't WinRAR free?
No,
No,
it
No.
is not. Never
I
has
have
been.
had to investigate this sort of issue myself.
Yes.
I did find some rather offbeat programs for Windows that are freeware and that can handle the format.
Right.
You just have to read the specs on the program and make sure you're not downloading something that's going to turn out to be spyware. Because there's a lot of malware that gets loaded with these because adult sites use them.
Right. And
These aren't adult sites, these are graphic sites.
I know, but unfortunately, just as the old news feed communication platforms got co-opted, this is what has happened with some of these formats.
yeah,
They've become very popular with people who are doing illicit things.
And the problem is some of these YouTube creators that are in the Eastern European sphere of things are using RAR rather than zip.
mhm.
Yeah,
It's more prevalent over there.
That's because over there's more use of Linux bases than Windows base, especially in
Which is why this question
especially in
questions
Eastern Europe.
Go ahead.
That's okay.
Somebody was talking, I didn't see who it was.
Tim, go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually done. But when RAR has been around for a very, very long time, and it's never been really free. You can download it for free, but they're going to do almost nothing for you until you buy it.
Okay.
But there are
So,
other tools.
I didn't hear, Bob, did you say you had some other solutions for them?
Yes.
I am trying to figure out whether or not I can locate the programs which do have the support. I have several. I had a situation where I was downloading some video for another group, and I ran into some oddball formats. And 4K video downloader was one of the ones that I was able to use for some of the video formats. What I'm trying to look up is whether or not it kind of tags along the WinRAR. VLC player
What are you looking
also
to send?
VLC player may also include it because being in France, the codecs by law there are free. And so WinRAR in France is not something you have to pay for. And VLC player comes from France.
And like I said, I've come across a couple of the compression utilities that do support it, and they cost nothing. But they're doing like LibreOffice that supports Microsoft Office formats, and it's a case where they're mimicking what they can in that format. And that's what's happening with WinRAR. It's a case where the other applications have figured out how it is formulated to do the compression, and therefore they've figured out ways of uncompressing it when you need it. And
Here's the one that surprised me. 7-zip
yes,
has limited RAR support.
I think PZip might be another one, but I'm not
PZip,
positive.
yes. It's either P-zip or in Linux there is PEA zip. Now PZip in Linux is kind of an old program. I don't know if it's still maintained,
Yeah.
but P-zip does still exist.
Pete,
Let's
what
see.
are you looking to send? What type of files is it?
I'm not sending them. I've got
Or create?
an airplane build file that's got the Gerber files on it for making the printed circuit board, and I want to unzip the Gerber files so I can send them out to have the boards made. And if we want to move this over to the Linux forum in 2 weeks, we can do that.
Oh, okay.
7-zip is fully cross-platform. It's also available in Windows. PK-zip is the other one.
That's an old
PK-zip.
And
PK
I remember that one.
PZip is also in Windows too.
Yeah. But anyway, 7-zip incorporates a lot of what PK-zip used to have. And WinZip. WinZip, I believe, also had it.
I don't remember
Okay.
WinZip having it, unless they did it after I stopped using it.
But anyway, 7-zip, it says right on their site that they have RAR. I don't know if that means full WinRAR.
Well, I typically just use Explorer to do the unpack on my machine in Windows, because that will do a straight zip file. It's just,
Yeah, Windows has built in all kinds of support for the free codecs, but for the non-free codecs, Microsoft shies away from those.
yeah. It doesn't open up a RAR.
Okay,
Okay.
next question, new direction? No questions. Okay, I guess we'll jump back to our open topics
I do have
that I'd sent out, or that is the topics from the list.
I do have one thing that might be of interest to a lot of people. It was something that was a big surprise. I was trying to create from my backup software a rescue flash drive. So I stuck in one that wasn't being used, tossed it in, and went to build it. And it says, I can't use it. And it mentions GPT. And I'm wondering, what the hell are you talking about, GPT? I've never seen a flash drive in GPT format, only MBR. And so I ended up doing a right click on the start button, opened up disk management, scrolled down to where the flash drive is at, and on the left side where the identification of the drive is, it says it's GPT formatted. And I didn't know it at the time, but I do have an article on it from Microsoft even. Normally in Systems 32, in the Windows folder, there's a utility called MBR number 2 GPT. So if you have an old MBR formatted drive, it'll convert it to GPT format that 10 and 11 won't. Well, it turns out there is no reverse one, but Disk Manager has the ability to switch it back. I have an article on that. And I used a partitioning tool that gave me the ability to do it because I didn't know about Disk Manager having the ability to change it back to MBR. So without that, you couldn't make the rescue media. And there may be other issues like that where you're having to create in a piece of software a bootable flash drive. And if it's formatted in Windows 10 and 11, formatting doesn't change the partitioning type. And therefore, once in 10 and 11, it changes it to GPT partition, it stays that way, and formatting can't change that. Only a partitioning tool like Disk Manager built into Windows and or third-party partitioning software can convert it from GPT to MBR format.
Now, there are times when it is good to have a flash drive that is GPT formatted,
Oh yeah,
especially as they gain larger capacities,
right.
because you can have more than one partition that even Windows can see if you have GPT formatting.
That's correct.
And with MBR, Windows cannot see a second partition.
No, it can
And
it can see up to 4. I've done it.
I
I've done it.
not on USB,
Yeah,
not on USB.
I did it on USB, or unless they took it away.
Okay, well, anyway, that has historically been one of the problems in Windows. That whereas Linux could use MBR formatted with multiple partitions, Windows couldn't. But both Windows and Linux and other operating systems can all use GPT. So
Pete,
that's one reason to do it.
Yeah.
You have a question?
Yeah, on this, could that be the reason on some of my thumb drives when I move them between a Windows? I've got a Windows 10 here, and I've got some Windows 7 at the school, and I have Linux here and at school, where I say it needs to be checked every time I throw it in a drive
No.
inside the
That is just,
machine.
I think that comes up on everything.
Yeah. That's a standard. It's a safety practice to check it either for viruses and spyware, and or you will also get sometimes it thinks it's corrupted, and therefore it needs to scan it, and if need be, repair it.
That's the message I'm getting, scan and repair, and then it doesn't do anything on the repair.
Well,
But so that's normal now.
Well, it's a kind of in a that case there. It's a false positive. It thinks there is a problem. When it goes through the repair function, it finds out, oh, there's no problem.
What happens is that NTFS and FAT32 can be marked as dirty, and that's by setting a bit. And that needs to be cleared, and that's done through a scan. It doesn't show any errors, but it has cleared the dirty bit. A dirty bit can render a dirty bit can render a flash drive into read-only mode so that it can't be written to.
And I've had that.
I've had that in Linux a lot.
I've had that where drives suddenly become read-only. There's nothing you can do with it. Once it gets that state, I've not been able to get it out of it.
Until you do either a light reformat, which may or may not save your data, or until you do this kind of disk check and repair. What it's, quote, repairing, end quote, is the dirty bit.
Yeah.
Well, in some cases, what you have to do in a drive like you're talking about, you have to have usually third-party software for partitioning, and it has the tool and horsepower to deal with it. But if you're not used to those kind of tools, you're not likely to solve your problem.
Just go out and buy a new one. They're pretty cheap these days. So
Yes.
I know that, just copy all the data off of it, do a hard, full reformat, and
Yeah.
be done with it.
Yeah, be done with it and buy another one for $7.
$7. I've gotten them for half of that.
Well, I just pulled a number out of the air. It depends. Maybe you got a 128 gig, micro SD or something like that. I don't know. Or
The
USB.
problem I have with
Well,
the problem I have with the 3D printers is that the operating systems on those won't take more than like 16 gig, I mean.
Gig.
on the SD and micro SD card thing, there's a piece of
They won't
software
know.
I've used for years called SD format. And that will restore them practically to factory specs. Because otherwise, I've had some where they will only partially format, and the other portion you can't get to SD format. I get the whole drive back.
So the thing there is you can't use the whole drive. If you got something more than like 16 gig, it will not even recognize it in the 3D printers.
Well, that is a limitation of that particular hardware. To some extent,
Right.
that's partially true with old Raspberry Pis, too.
Yeah. Which a lot of the 3D printers use something like the Pi or a version of the Pi to actually run the hardware on the printer.
Right.
Speaking, shall we talk about AI at all?
Why not?
Why not?
It's not going away.
Apparently, now, see, I don't have Windows 11. Does anyone in this group already have Windows 11 running on a machine so they don't mind taking the lead on this article?
I've got 11 running right now.
Okay. You want to follow this link to Computer World and let's see some of the stuff that it shows that we could do in Windows 11. So I'll stop sharing.
Hang loose. I've got to bring up the browser to get to your list.
Here, I'll send you the link in the.
I've got your original email.
Oh, okay.
By the way, for many of these features, the new AI features, you need the 23H2 feature update. And that's most of what you need. But you may also need to be running under a Microsoft account login.
In some instances, yes, but not always. It's just one of these little quirks. Some of it, they want you to log in so that they know that you are a legitimate versus an unsupported Windows 11 person. Oh, okay. Now I gotta take and share the screen. Don't know why, but I gotta do that. Okay, here's your article. And I'm in a different browser, so I don't know I got read mode. So you have 10 Windows 11 AI features you can use today. Copilot, okay. Down here at the bottom on my 23H2 Windows 11 system is the Copilot taskbar icon. You also have it, unless you disable it, in the Edge browser, And you see two colors here on the icon at the bottom of the screen. That's normal in 11, but Edge in 10 has Copilot, but it's all blue-green in color. And but it's essentially the same thing, and it works in both locations. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. I click on Copilot and see what happens. I'm going to see if I can get rid of, oops, come on. Can you see the preloading right now? My system,
No, we only see
No.
the article.
that's kind of what I thought would happen. And that's one of the problems. I'm going to have to change my share, but I want to,
I think you got to share your desktop in order for us to see that.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
All right.
So this is in the browser.
Yeah, hang loose. I got to stop sharing. Share again. Go here. Here. And okay. Here's Copilot on the side. Now do you see it on the right? Hello?
Got the article again.
Oh,
No.
Oh, it's not showing?
We got the article again.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
wait,
got the article, but on the right side.
Yeah. There's something that is in dark mode on the right-hand side.
Oh, it says preview.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, preview.
Where?
It's not
I see.
movable. It's not something that I can move. Copilot is hard
Oh, it's-
fixed to the right-hand side of your screen.
It's on the bottom
Okay,
right
yeah,
corner.
so, yeah,
No, it's the entire right-hand, about 1/4 of the screen, or
right,
1/5, and it's in dark mode.
right.
Right, and it has white lettering. This is from the last search that I did.
I see. That's why we're a little confused here. So it says ask me anything, right?
Right,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
On Copilot and some other things, if you should see a little microphone here that I'm pointing to. That microphone, if you've got a live mic, you can click on that and it will allow you to speak your question or phrase that you want to ask Copilot to find for you. So you don't have to type in everything. You can use your voice. It does a respectable job of interpreting your speech, and it'll print out the text there so you can see what it's doing. You might have occasionally a small correction to make. Now, does everybody have?
I'm not seeing any of that. All I got is the original page.
Pete, there's a white background with dark printing, and just to the right of that is the dark background with white printing.
Yeah, and I don't remember if I can change that or not.
Well, you don't want to change it, Tim, because that sets, in your display, that's setting apart what is Copilot from what isn't.
Yes, and the bad part is you can't change it, I don't think. Now, by
If
the
it's
way,
if it's anything like all the other system things, if they set it up in dark mode, it's going to stay in dark mode. Google
Right.
does that too.
yeah. Now down here where I'm pointing, it gives you
It's
creative.
not even seeing the mouse.
It gives you creative, balanced, and precise. I'm almost always in precise, but creative means that you can have a response that has a lot of hallucination, it's called. And that means it didn't really know how to respond to your what you're asking for. So it made up some stuff, and that's called hallucination in AI.
Mhm.
Balanced, you may get some hallucination, but you get a lot of real information. And that's why you always, when you're using AI, you must review with a jaundiced eye your feedback from the AI and check out everything it says to make sure that it's factual and not hallucination. That's another reason why I use, as a technician, precise for most of my stuff. It will minimize hallucination. I'm not guaranteeing it will not hallucinate. Uh, any other questions on Copilot so far?
Otherwise, that I couldn't see anything that you did.
I can't answer the question. It can be how you have your Zoom set up as well. You should be
I'm
in.
aware of that. I'm
Well,
aware of that.
being we can't see what your screen is and your settings are, I'm not certain we can render any help.
You may
I
have to
fully
change,
understand.
you may have to change the view. You know, your view where you've got all the pictures, get rid of all the participants.
That could be blocking your view too. Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened with me.
Yeah, you now see, I'm sharing the screen, but I have up there under more settings, I can hide the participants on
Yeah.
the right side of the browser display of the article. And that helps a lot. I also have a bar at the top. I can hide that as well. But that's because I'm sharing my screen. So that's what I did. Before I shared my desktop to show this, I got rid of the user view that normally would be on the right side of the browser article display.
Yeah.
Another possibility is go to your view and go to standard. That'll put us up at the top, and you might have more screen width on the shared screen.
That's a possibility too.
Yeah.
There's lots of different things you got to basically experiment with.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna close Copilot, and I'm gonna move down. Paint Creator for generating AI art. This is something brand new. Hang on this for a minute. Let's see if I can bring up Paint. And
Just
Paint.
Up.
There it
right
is.
there.
Okay. Now, I think I got the current version.
Yes, we can see paint.
Yeah, we've got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for something specific.
Yeah.
I don't think. Oh, there it is. I spotted it. See this right here? This is the co-creator.
Co-creator.
And
Yeah.
when you click on it, it should open up. But you got to understand, my system, I'm recording the meeting. I am also trying to display this stuff. We're taxing my system to death. There we go. And it's introducing now a preview of what this is about. This is still in preview by Microsoft, meaning it's not the final product. So they'll be making changes over time. A connection with the server could not be established. And that's a tip-off, like Bob Primick was bringing up, that I probably need to be logged in. That's why
Yeah.
it couldn't connect to the server.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is one I'm limited right now because I'm not going to log in the way they want me to. I am logged into a Microsoft account that I've had for decades. So, I mean, what they're looking for here, I'm not positive, and I'm not into this because I'm not very artistic to begin with. But generally, most of these use Dolly E3, and you have to describe in text what you want to see in the images that it creates. And I base that upon going to many, many other meetings with people, including a new group being formed by another outfit for AI topic only in the whole meeting. And it's a 1 hour meeting once a month. So that's as far as I can show you there, but it's this Dolly E3 modeling. And what you're doing is you're describing, I want to see Clippy. If it may recognize what Clippy is in the picture and some other information about what you want to see in the graphic, and it'll create you 3 versions. And you choose whatever you want. The next one up is OCR in the snipping tool. This one I have used. And prior to that, I used OCR text reading in Power Toys, which is made by employees of Microsoft. So, see right here, we have right now we're learning something useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say new. I'm going to take a picture of this if I can. And come on. I know I'm taxing this thing to death right now. I hope I don't lose the video. Let's try that again. For some reason it okay.
There you go.
Here we go. Okay. Now I want this here. So now I gotta find it in this toolbar. I gotta try and move this sucker down so that come on. There we go. All right. This one here is text actions, and it's supposed to let me, I think it's the text action, maybe not. I have a feeling I'm missing something here.
Go back to the article.
Well, no, what I'm saying, I'm not seeing something up here that I've used before. And what it is, it allows me to highlight the image information, and thus it will allow me to take and convert it. I'm going to try this part. Not sure if it'll work, but we'll give it a shot. Well, you're giving me the old one again.
Take action.
Tim, your selection on the left-hand side at the top is for taking a photo of it. So I think when you do the select, you're doing the entire.
Yes, I am right now, just to get this done. Now I'm going to bring up Notepad and make a new tab. This is new in 11, not in 10. And there's all that text.
Wow.
And it picks up even the text that's in this image here.
Yeah.
I normally have been able to highlight just in the image by itself, nothing else, and translate the text. So it's a viable tool that we can all take advantage of. Background removal
Skip
in
that.
paint.
Skip.
Why?
Oh, I just said because you said you weren't proficient in paint. That's all. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not, but I have done something similar to what this is supposed to do. Basically speaking, I should be able to delineate these two people and remove that background, and then take that as an overlay in a more advanced picture editing piece of software, have a background that I want, put these guys in layer 2, and it looks like a natural picture. This is what Photoshop people do all the time. GIMP can do this, and some other tools as well. Paint.net's another one I think that would do it too. You have to have a image editor that does layering, and if you do that, you can create your own background at level 1. You can then take like these two people here, cut it out of this image that's showing there, and take that, save it, and put it on another layer over that background, and it looks all natural. Does that description sound reasonable?
Yes.
Okay. 5, background blur of photos. I haven't tried this one, but basically it's doing the same thing as number 4 is here. The difference is it's taking all this background here, that all the way around the image of these people, and blurring it out so that you cannot distinguish what the background is. And there's a lot of people on Zoom, when they're on there, they blur their background so that you can't see what's really there, versus using a background image. So that's really all that's doing there. Video auto compose in Clipchamp. I have not played with this Clipchamp. It's an online video editing tool. So unless you're into video editing, odds are you're not going to use it. And but this allows you to take the tool, instead of just editing an existing video, to generate one via the AI. So it's kind of like that AI co-creator in Paint, only instead of a still shot, you're creating a video. It's a short clip video. I forget how long it's supposed to make it, but it's not a very long video. It's you would probably use it as a like a commercial that you would see on TV, or some kind of a promo lead in to a video that you're making to post on YouTube for others to view. Copilot in Edge, I was mentioning. See how this image right here That's the Copilot replacing the old lowercase b for Bing. And Bing and Copilot are a collage now. They're one tool. And this is showing you Edge browser from 10. It's all blue-green. In 11, it's like my Copilot down here. On my machine, I have in Edge turned that little feature off because I don't need it in both places. So that's an option that you have in 11. Smart App Control. I haven't gotten into this one. I'll be honest. Few people are using it now, but Smart App Control is a new feature in Windows. Microsoft says it uses AI to predict which apps are safe to download and run on 11. So basically, Big Brother's watching out for you. It's not available on most Windows 11 systems, only new 11 installations. It's basically a way for Windows to be more aggressive about controlling which applications run on your PC, ensuring only trustworthy applications run. Like I said, Big Brother. As an optional feature, this looks promising. It would be great if Windows were more aggressive about ensuring suspicious applications can't run on average users' PCs, period. I agree with that one. 9. Windows Studio Effects. If you have an NPU, I don't even know what an NPU is. You're going to really need a new computer for this one. While Intel, AMD, Qualcomm are eagerly launching chips with neural processing units, NPUs, Windows can't use them for much yet. That is something that is coming. Some are speculating Windows 12 when it comes out may require you to have a new computer that has an NPU on the motherboard. Just letting you know about that right now. But by the way, and I'll pipe this in right now, there were a lot of speculation. Windows 12 was going to be launched in the fall. It's not. There will be a new update, upgrade for Windows 11 with more AI in it. And 12, whenever it gets ready, it might be the following year. Who knows? Maybe they're running into some problems. I don't know. Or they're waiting for something like this NPU to be more widely available in new hardware. But most anything you go buy right now does not contain an NPU. Sorry about that. So that may be what's delaying 12. Copilot for Microsoft 365 businesses only for now. This is a tease that eventually anybody who subscribes to Microsoft 365 may eventually have Copilot there that are not tied to a business. But I wouldn't bet on it. That's the end of 2023. By the end of 2024, expect next generation version of Windows with AI takes a more center stage on the desktop interface, along with more AI features that require an NPU. That's why I think 12 is being delayed. So I don't know what to tell you beyond that. This is one of those things that you just gotta bite the bullet. So,
Well, Tim, you might as well just throw away that motherboard, that PC you were building, and just start again?
Not a chance, because I
It's
doubt.
already outdated. You haven't even built it yet.
Hey,
It was
no,
outdated before.
it was outdated 5 years ago. What are you talking about? So, I mean, bottom
Does
line
it
is,
have a TPM2?
pardon?
Does it have TPM 2.0?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All my supported 11s, I've got 6 or 7 supported Windows 11 systems. They're all TPM2, and they all have compliant processor except one. I've got one 11 machine right now. I'm trying to get the processor changed. It's the only thing that's not compliant on that computer. Everything else is there to run 11 supported.
Yeah,
Okay.
TPM2 doesn't add a whole lot to the cost of a computer,
No,
but these neural processing units would add huge amounts of expense, and it would kill Windows 12 dead. It would be dead on arrival.
yeah, well, and that's very possible. But with my system, to be compliant on 11 requires 1 or 2 instruction sets, add-ons that didn't come out until Intel's 8th generation and beyond, and not all Intel chips support 11.
No.
Same with Ryzen. There's a lot of Ryzen chips that will not support 11. Other ones do, and they have the extra instructions.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that the TPM requirement is no longer seeming to hold back Windows 11 adoption.
That's true.
Whereas if Microsoft goes with this flat out AI and neural processing and all this other stuff, nobody's going to buy that.
Well,
Nobody.
You're
I
right.
think there will be
You're right.
some. It's going to be like the new visor from Apple, $3,500. How many people are going to go out right now in this group and spend $3,500 for that visor?
None that I know of in this group. Can we continue on these subjects we have?
Go for it.
What you
right.
got?
So someone else would like to suggest a topic that we have here. We did do.
Oh, by the way, in chat I put in a link for 7 alternatives to zip unzip files, including WinRAR, and it's got some good alternatives, and several of them are free.
Thank you.
Now, I had a suggestion. Well, we did the AI, and we did Copilot.
How about passkeys?
That was what I was looking at.
Passkey up at the top.
Passkeys.
This is the new thing to eliminate passwords.
Okay.
It's still in its infancy, so understand that.
Okay, so what is the passkey?
It's a.
It's a way to log into your apps
Do you
and your
remember
websites
way
without
back?
using your username and password in combination.
Do you remember way back PGP encryption? You have a public key and a private key. And basically speaking, they're encrypting your connection. And they know you are the person legally able to access your account, and others cannot. If you lose your pass key, you can regenerate at that site after you go through verification a new pass key.
Now, what if you have multiple PCs? How do you go about that?
The best thing there is having a password manager, just like with passwords. I got lots of machines here. Without a password manager, I wouldn't even dream of trying to open up various online sites without a password manager. Well, the password managers are now allowing for the storage of passkeys as well.
Right, and that will work across multiple devices.
That's right. Including you going to somebody else's place and using their computer, but you log in as you and you get into your password manager's cloud account and you have full access to any of your online accounts, whether it's by password or passkey. And by the way, Sanford, you're still showing the list. I don't know if you're planning on showing the article.
I'm sorry, it did. I was in the article. I thought it was showing the correct screen. My bad.
I know, that's why I told you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
by the way, as to whether or not multiple PCs can use the same passkeys, yes, they can. But you do need to use cloud storage if you're going to do that.
Right. And most of the password managers, except for passkey, except for KeyPass, do use cloud to have a master account so you can go anywhere, use any computer, and access your stuff okay.
Yeah, and if you have it in a dongle, you can use a local source for the passkeys, and you can use them on different PCs.
So basically, is it saying you create a master password to get into your password manager and then that unlocks everything?
Yes.
Well, what's the difference than using a password manager?
Right.
Password manager uses a master key, a single master key. That's the only thing you have to remember is your master password, because none of these companies can help figure out what your master password that you set up. All encryption on a password manager occurs on your local machine, not up in the cloud. They just, when it's done encrypting it, it puts a copy of your new online account with the password information up in the cloud encrypted.
I think it says here that it's using a biometric authentication tool.
Right.
That
Because
is one way to do it. It can also be used as a USB dongle like YubiKey.
right.
And FIDO has a different standard, which can be used more economically. And you can make a passkey that's a USB. And you just plug that in. And it only has to be plugged in while you're logging in. Then you can unplug it and use the USB port again.
Right. And that's also my ancient YubiKey, which is this little device. I don't know how well you can see it, but I plug it in. I verify that I am me and I have access. I take it out of the USB port and go about my business.
Well, I don't necessarily use a PC all the time. Access. I use an Apple iPad.
Okay, so what? If you're
that can operate the same way a phone can operate with these passkeys.
that's right.
It can be contained on the device.
Well, and what you can do, even with a tablet, usually is there is some kind of a USB device you can plug in, like Bob was mentioning, and they have access to the Wi-Fi and internet. Therefore, any cloud-based password manager can use and give you your information at any time, anywhere you are in the world that has internet access. If it, you got to remember, a tablet and a smartphone, are nothing but a computer that may also contain a cell service for phone calls and SMS text. Outside of that, it is a computer, period. And any computer that can access the internet can access a cloud account. Bitwarden, LastPass, Passkey, and a password one, and a plethora of other password managers are out there. Some of them require you to pay a monthly fee or an annual fee. LastPass, most of it is free, but if you want to use it on a phone and I think also a tablet, and use it on a laptop computer, you have to pay, I think, $3 a month. Uh, on the other hand, Bitwarden is totally free.
Yeah. Also, getting back to the iPad, you can use the Apple Face login as your passkey, uh, prompt.
Right, and Apple supports passkeys. So does Microsoft, and I'm not sure about Amazon yet, but
Amazon is where I was looking. They
oh,
just introduced it recently.
okay, and CBS, when I want to log in, they want to do a pass key for that also.
Yeah, CVS Pharmacy has several different programs, some of which will use passkey, some of which do not use it. I also Google services can use passkeys, so they're beginning to show up.
Oh yeah, there's no two ways about it.
So how will this be implemented to the average user? How will we know that we're going to be doing a passkey versus a password and two-factor authentication?
You will see more and more requirements that you log into your device with either fingerprint or face or biometric, or you will need a dongle that you will have to plug in just as long as authentication is taking place. And some devices like phones, it might be totally transparent because the phone might contain the passkey.
And
It's just like when you log into your phone with your PIN. You don't have to separately log into Google if it's an Android device,
right,
or into your Apple services if it's an iPhone.
and then you have in the OSs, Windows as just one example, they have different security options such as face recognition, your fingerprint, a PIN number. Well, they're also adding passkey.
Yeah.
So
This is also part of Windows Hello.
that's right.
And
so
Apple has their own name for it.
they are adding this stuff, like I said, up front on this article. This is in its infancy. So it's just starting to get off the ground. It's not mainstream right this minute. Peter?
Okay, I think we covered that pretty good.
Peter?
No?
Oh, Pete, sorry.
Okay, so will using this avert the problem of me having to have the phone, have them text the key to the phone?
Yes.
My problem here in Hawaii is that
It
the
has
actual server that I'm going through, listen first. The actual server that I'm going through is in California because it's T-Mobile.
right. Fine.
So every single app and every single thing thinks I'm in California. So almost every time I go to a secured site, they want to text my phone with a key that I got to put in to verify it's me here in Hawaii.
Passkey has two parts, public and private. So think of it as the lock on the door, and you've got the key. And you stick the key in, turn the lock, and open the door.
To answer more directly, Pete, today's ways of using your phone, especially SMS messaging, have been found to be insecure. They actually have to send a message through your carrier, which, as you say, has a server in California, and passkeys only go through your device out there in Hawaii.
Right.
So it's kept. What starts in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Or on Maui.
Yes. In other words, this should be faster, more reliable, and more secure.
Far more secure. Because, like Bob said, SMS text and email are the two worst offenders of sharing unconsciously private information with the world. Because anybody who can get a hold of your SMS text and or emails while they're in transit can read them and use that information possibly against you.
Okay, so I could create a passkey out of dongle. Use
Yeah,
the
you don't.
dongle on my Windows machine, my Linux machine, and my machine at work.
But be careful. Passkeys are per online account. They are all unique. There is no secondary use like in passwords. There are a lot of people, they only have 1 to 4 passwords they use for everything online.
Aware. Okay, so I have a passkey and it's got my authentications for my my bank,
Right.
my Amazon account,
Right.
my PayPal account,
That's right.
and I can take the dongle that it's on and then use it on multiple different PCs
Yes.
or devices.
You have to be a little careful about Linux
Not the phone, not the phone.
Yeah, you have to be a little careful about Linux because it handles these things differently, just as you'd expect Linux always does things differently. But as long as your Linux can handle it and can handle the site and the way it does the handshake, you should be just fine with a single dongle. For example, a YubiKey can hold dozens and dozens of logins, and it can even change them every 30 seconds.
Now, here's the other thing, Peter, that you brought up there, is that you understand clearly this is in its infancy. So what may not work today, they'll iron it out and it works tomorrow. So you have to keep trying some of the things that aren't working that you want to do.
But it would mean that, tonight, I would no longer need to have
That's
a
right.
book.
You burn that.
What?
You burn it and then scatter the ashes and pour water or urine all over the ashes.
Ooh, he had to go the urine route. All right. Shall we go on to a new subject now that we've
Okay.
exhausted and urinated on our passkeys? Okay.
Not the passkeys, the passwords.
Passwords, right. After we burned them.
Yeah.
After
Okay.
you transfer the information to the passkey.
There are apps that are used to do that. For example, your password manager will be able to do it in the future. In fact, some can do it now.
Yeah, you have to understand they're trying to still figure out all the little quirks and bugs that are popping up, and that's going to happen probably for the next couple years before they get
I'll be
most of
dead
it
by the
ironed
time
out.
they got them all figured out.
That's for sure. That's the hope.
Sandra, can you put up the list of topics again?
Yes, I'll
Yeah, I didn't see the second page.
Yeah, I was just at the 1Password site, and they talk about sharing vaults as well.
Okay.
Okay, we did that. Did that. Here, I'll put most of it into the chat. Or maybe I should just go and do this.
Yeah, you go put it in the chat and then explain to him how to get the chat so he can look at it.
Well, the chat already contains the WinRAR alternatives. It contains a link,
Right.
and you can download the chat.
All right, while I'm doing this,
Everybody can go to sleep.
no, somebody could look through the list and see if there was something else that grabbed their attention.
That's what I'm up to. We were doing hardware acceleration, but there's one about 7 tips to speed up Windows.
I thought I did that one.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he did.
All right, then I'm moving right along. There was keyboard shortcuts in 6 popular web browsers.
All right, I just sent the doc.
Received.
Thank you.
Oh, that's the topics.
Right. That's what he said he didn't see was the list of topics. Or did I
Yeah,
miss it?
That was buried in an email.
Got it.
How about how to access NASA's new streaming service and explore space? Let's go to something light.
Alrighty.
All right, wait. How to
It's about the 5th one down. 5th or 6th.
Yeah, I thought that looked like an interesting one. All right. Okay, how to access NASA's new streaming service. I don't know if anyone's sad about the fact that Integrity, the helicopter, is grounded, will no longer be flying.
Yeah.
You know, like everything else they put up there, it's got a life that's about 20 times what they design it for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the designers do that on purpose because then their job is longer.
Well, they definitely did a good job on that helicopter.
Yeah.
Only wish they would have put better cameras on it, but for what they did, unbelievable.
Oh, especially for the length of its life compared to what it was supposed to be.
71 flights it did or something like that.
Yeah, they're already working on another one whose blades are going to be supersonic.
Wow.
And that's Earth supersonic, not Mars.
Yeah.
For us real geeks.
Okay, so the new service is called NASA Plus.
And it's a pretty
And where can you get it? You can get it anywhere you get your apps, as in iOS and Android via the NASA app. Once you download and install it, go and watch the tab. You can also get it on your Roku. If you prefer, you can go to the NASA Plus website. Let's see what that looks like. Now, I don't know if my screen changed. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did it or did it not?
It did.
I'm seeing
Yes.
NASA. Yeah.
Okay, it says Color of Space. Now, Intuitive Machines. Yeah, so you can just bookmark this page. This is a good one to bookmark. And just pull it up on your browser. Oh, look at all the good stuff there is here. You can explore everything. You can watch the world from ISS. Progress 87 cargo ship. Relive those inspiring moments. There's a lot of good stuff here. Has anyone followed any of NASA stuff here in this group?
I follow a little bit of it.
There's another group that I do that meets Wednesday mornings that's based in Lexington, and they're a bunch of a lot of them are former Raytheon engineers, and there's a couple of people in that group who are really into space stuff. Everything from the Webb telescope to the various other new telescopes that are looking deep into the past of the universe. Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the new 18 or 19 images from way out in space and that of galaxies we didn't even know existed.
And a lot of that is because they're searching in not the optical, but they're searching in the infrared, the ultraviolet spectrums.
Right.
Yeah, it's mostly infrared that they're
Seeing what
doing.
people can't see.
Right. And they do, they have these nice pictures that look like they're so colorful. It is false color, but it does show what's there. And
And they can actually take all three spectrums and put them on top of each other. So
right.
now you can see everything that's there, including the dust.
Yep, you can see a lot of stuff. And you can also see through the dust in some of them.
Yeah.
The NASA site has had videos of the various moon missions from different countries, and they've had things that have been posted about different missions to different planets.
Here's a podcast that this also may be available through that NASA link. This is from nasa.gov. I subscribe to this one on my phone, so it comes in every week or whenever they publish them, shall I say. This is actually generated at NASA. So they come through they cover all kinds of topics here. And they're often interviewing the ISS crew, or they'll talk about the Artemis missions. They'll go in depth. They broke down what is it going to take to go to Mars. And they broke it down to its sub-elements and then had a podcast over each one of those. That is, the crew, the vehicles, the food, what's going to be needed when they get there, what do they need to come home, the psychology of this. They go through very in-depth, but not not technical at all, by no means. This is all just regular speak, if you will, here. I don't think there's any technical talk here.
So they're working at the outline level rather than the detail level.
Yes, this is PR. This is totally PR stuff. So, and that's the way they approach it on this. So I do like this podcast. Houston, we have a podcast, and I recommend this. Okay, so that was pretty light. And hopefully somebody is going to subscribe to that NASA Plus website. All right, Terry, you had a chance to review the topics. Is there one of the topics you'd like us to cover? You're muted.
I didn't get it to open on the chat, so I don't know.
It's a Word document.
I didn't, I clicked on it, nothing popped up.
No,
Well, you gotta double click on it.
It downloads into your download folder, and then you have to double click it in order to open it up into a word processor.
Oh boy. Oh.
Like I said, you got to explain it.
Okay, well, he's trying to figure that out.
Well, the meeting will be over by then.
Does anyone else want to pull up a topic? I am looking for presenters for next month's West Side.
You want to use Roma's video?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to use Roma's video?
That I don't know. I have not reviewed that video.
Okay, well, if you need topic, you know,
Okay. Did you figure out how to open that file yet?
that's next month.
Next year?
My fault, I should have looked at it before
Well, it was in your email.
before I came on. It's my fault.
Harry, any questions, Harry? Anything you think we need? Harry Nelson?
No, nothing special.
Why are you so quiet back there?
You might try the third article, how to customize keyboard shortcuts in 6 popular web browsers. That might be worth a shot. I've got a tip on a browser that some people may or may not be able to take advantage of.
Okay. How to customize your keyboard shortcuts in Chrome and Edge. I've never done this function. Anyone done this before?
I've done one a long time ago, but I haven't repeated it.
Oh, so you got to add an extension to do this.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't
extension is
use
called
it.
auto control, which will let you set up custom hotkeys. So I gotta get or add Chrome buttons to my. I gotta first get auto control.
Yes, and that might not be available on Firefox and any of its derivatives.
Oh, okay, which I currently use. So I guess I gotta switch.
Yeah, you may not be able to get. You can try it, but I mean, there are some that are common to Firefox, Chrome, and Edge, and there are some that are not available in Firefox that are in Edge and Chrome. I speak from long experience on that one.
All right, and this was called what? Auto control. Let's look for auto control.
Okay. No, I don't think you're going to get it.
Don't see it.
Well, you can scroll down, but I mean, I doubt you're going to see it. That's why I say in
Oh,
Firefox.
that's right. It did not. It said Edge and Chrome. It did not say Firefox.
Yes, anything that's Chromium-based browsers will be able to use that extension, but not Firefox-based browsers.
Okay, so I need to load up Edge. And I need to do this. Bear with me. I got Edge. And I'm going to do extensions.
If we're supposed to see something, you didn't share yet.
No, I know that. I'm
Okay.
doing this.
That's fine.
Bear with. You will get it in a moment. I was doing this behind the scenes.
That's fine.
Auto control. Oh, look.
I didn't
No
find it.
extensions were found.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you using Edge's web store?
Yes.
Okay. Switch to Chrome web store.
I don't have Chrome loaded on this machine.
Yeah. No. Edge can access Chrome's web store.
Okay.
Guarantee it. I do it all the time.
Okay, well, How do I get there? How do I get to Chrome if I don't have Chrome?
You changed your look. Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Now, do a backup. Go up to the upper left arrow, back up, and back up one more. Oh, go ahead and back again.
It doesn't go any further back. That's it.
Oh, all right.
It's a full new session.
All right. Now, just go over to the triple dots on the right side. Click that. And go down to browser. More tools. More tools. Down one. Yeah. Oh, hang loose. They changed that. I forgot about that. You want to go back up to extensions. Extensions. Manage your extensions. Okay. Now, if you go here on the left side, it says get extensions for Edge. That's using Edge. Go into the center towards the bottom, and it says Chrome Web Store. It's a link. And now it will ask you, do you really want to do this? And you have to give permission for Edge to download from this one time. And when you say yes, it'll do it without asking. And say no thanks to that gratuitous request that you use Chrome. Anyway, it works exactly the same as in Edge. Now, for here, you got to get past this one page. You want to... I'm not sure what you're into there.
Do the back arrow.
Download Chrome's what it wanted me to do.
Do the back arrow. You probably clicked on something.
Go back arrow.
There you are. You're
no thanks.
No thanks. Not yes.
Oh, I see. Switch to Chrome. No thanks.
There you go.
There's the search.
What was it called? Auto what?
Control.
Thank you.
There it is. Top.
Auto control.
And I think you just added.
Yeah.
Get.
You do a get now.
Yeah.
Instead of an add. Now,
I'll figure it out at the end of the
Now,
meeting.
up at the top, allow extensions from other stores. This is a one-time thing. You have to click allow.
Blue. Yeah.
And now add the extension.
There you go.
You won't see that request about allowing anymore.
There's a native component in the gold.
Oh, wait a minute. Strongly recommend you...
That's the browser guard saying they think it's unsafe.
Right. Continue with the website. Refresh the screen. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Look at your URL.
Undefined.
Go hit the back button.
Hold on.
All right. Well, okay.
Back here.
Never mind. You got in here. Run install.
Run installer. Yeah. It's pointing toward... No, it pointed you toward where to do it. It's up in... All right.
Install
native
When you do
component.
that...
Downloads. Continue.
Yes.
No, that's going to do the same thing. I think... Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because Malwarebytes is blocking it.
Yeah.
yeah. But follow the arrow.
Run install.
Wait, what the hell is it trying to do? Run installer. Run installer.
On the right column. You got to scroll down probably. On the right side. You got a column here. You opened up that sweetheart.
That's it.
It's trying to, said run installer. You hit the heart up here at the top, right, and it shows browser essentials. Oh, click the three dots. Yeah. I was talking about run installer.
All right, tell you what, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this because we're at the end of our meeting and
Failed.
it failed and it's not that important to do at this point in time. I would like to thank everybody. Is there any other last questions or comments? No? I'm going to end this and thank everybody for coming.
Recording